Okay, Brock Bowers, the
Yeah,
dilemma.
yeah.
You scout for the NFL, you start talking about for the NFL, and you start saying, okay, this is the best tight end prospect of all time. Analytically, he is the best tight end prospect we've really looked at. I mean, we don't
Oh
have
yeah.
that model out, but I mean, come on, just 1 + 1 equals holy shit. You
Just doing it
know,
all 18-year-old, like just
yeah, dude,
out there dominating in the SEC. Yeah.
dominating, early domination. The other thing too is like if you just look at some of the stuff, like we look at yards per route run, first downs per route run,
Mm-hmm.
EPA per route run, these types of things. You start to see, certain wide receivers if they're above 2.5 yards per. Brock Bowers would be like the wide receiver 3 in this class in
Yeah.
a lot of these metrics. Like he's really impressive if he was a wide receiver. That doesn't even make any sense. So like, what do we do with Brock Bowers? What are your thoughts?
I would draft him.
Draft him. Good pick.
I honestly like.
Damn it. I gotta ask
Uh,
better questions.
well, no, I think I understand exactly what you're
I
getting
know.
at. Like, the history of first round tight ends, first of all, is
There it
like
is.
working against you. But to me, it's just Bowers is built diff. Also, like the way that NFL teams have started to use tight ends, I think is beneficial to the type of tight end that he is. You see, the players that are 245 pounds or less over the last few, like the most productive guys at tight end are all like in the last few years. Like the NFL is trending towards these types of players. He's essentially the exact same height and weight as Sam Laporta, which I
Yep.
think I didn't realize that until recently. I was like, I kind of forgot that Sam Laporta was a little bit undersized, and maybe that was why I undersold him a little bit last year. But I don't know. To me, it's like he can route guys up. He's incredible after the catch.
There it
He is
is.
one of the twitchiest athletes. Like I could like, obviously I am very hyper aware that like our eyes lie to us, but like when I watch Brock Bowers, I'm like, this guy is a freak. Like
Yes.
he's the twitchiest athlete. He's so powerful. He's out there running dudes over. He's jumping
Running
over
away.
guys. Yeah, he's like, sprinting away from a dead stop against like corners and safeties. Um, I don't know. He just looks like the real deal to me. And then when you add in the fact that he's like analytically very strong, he was immediate productive when he got to college. He's out producing guys like Lab McConkey, AD Mitchell. Um, I to me, it's like it's not a no brainer, but like I'm like totally fine taking him early on in a rookie draft.
So I was looking at his the other thing that Sam Laporta, his superpower, Brock Bowers shares with him is basically missed tackles forced per reception. Like he is an
Mm-hmm.
absolute dog. And so some of those things, it's like I either
Yeah.
am looking at yards after catch, which shows like David Njoku is over 10. You got to remember, like really nobody. I did the anatomy of an elite tight end, and all these guys, Kittle and all the elite guys, Laporta, all these guys, McBride, they're all over like 5.5, 5.2, 5.5. They're all over that, but most of them are like 5, 6, or 7 yards after catch per reception,
Mm.
and so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
David Njoku was like 11, 10 or 11. Like
Per reception in college.
yes, did you know that?
I didn't
He
remember that.
averaged over
10
10
yards. Okay, that's good.
after the catch
Yeah, yeah.
in college. Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a stat that when you say it, you're like, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't think I believe you. So go ahead and look it up. And then, but listen, Brock Bowers at 9.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to be the second in the database that I can ever see. He makes people miss yards per route run career 2.61. Like that's ridiculous.
Super
Like
solid. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he was 2.74 last year. He was actually 3.24 in 2021. Like just every year over 2 yards per route run. Like that's absolutely insane. So yeah, he has a lot of these metrics where it's undeniable. So as a player, he is that good, and as a prospect, he is that good. I guess the question is how early are you taking him? I mean, that's it. Can you take him over Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors, even in a non-tight end premium? You can't do that.
Probably
right?
not. No,
But
probably not.
what about in a tight end premium, like a 175 tight end premium?
Yeah, I think so.
He's gonna go 1 point. I'm telling you, he's
I
gonna go
don't
1
know.
point. He's gonna go 1.01 in a lot of tight end premium leagues. You watch, mark my words, it's happening.
Um,
It's gonna happen.
Yes, I am a big believer in Bowers. I think he's one of the best players in this draft, like full stop. I
Yeah.
think, It is an interesting question. Like, do you take him over a quarterback? Like, that seems a little bit wild. But,
Wild.
In a tight end premium league, I would consider taking him over Neighbors. I don't think he'll end up going over Neighbors in most leagues.
Right.
But, if you have the 104 or the 105 this year, that's to me like a perfectly fine spot to take him, in a super flex league.
Yeah.
And so, I'm going to be trying to scoop him up as much as possible. I really hope he lands with some team that doesn't like some jabroni coach that like doesn't know how to use him. Like, that's going to piss me off.
He's going to Pittsburgh, I think.
God. Because like, if you look at the
Smith.
God, if you look at the there was a tweet today that saw, like, Arthur Smith was like talking with Brock Bowers at the pro day. I'm like, get him away from my tight end.
Yes, I saw that. Send him to Pittsburgh. Oh my God, the worst would be Atlanta, right? Just doubling down on the tight end position in the draft. There's some really comical spots he could go where you'd be like, what just happened?
What's the best place he could go? Do you think?
All right, well, let's look at it. Let's just go through it.
So obviously, Chicago Commanders and Patriots are taking quarterbacks. I think Arizona is probably going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers are at 5. I suppose it's possible they take him. I just kind of doubt it. Just released
Mike Williams. Yep.
I kind of doubt it. I think they'll probably go like offensive line or trade back.
But even if they did, is that still even the most outstanding spot in the first round? I mean, I think so far it is. So I mean, if we're picking so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Giants,
it if you look at the history of Greg Roman and tight ends, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So anyways, the Chargers would be fine with me, but like I don't think that'll happen.
Giants no, Titans no, Falcons like almost hell no, but not really hell no. I don't know. That's a weird.
Bears
Falcons would be the fucking best for comedy of all time.
The Falcons are not going to take a tight end.
No, of course not. But it would be hilarious.
The Bears, they just signed Gerald Everett, so I doubt they'll be in the market for another tight end. The Jets, it's possible. I don't want him to end up with the Jets. I just don't. No? I don't like the New York teams. I'm sick of these stupid Jets and Giants. I just feel like this is where like skill players go to die. I guess.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here with this New York hate. Go on, please continue on this train of thought.
Just like,
but no, seriously. Have you ever heard of? Let me interest you in a guy like Robert Tonyan with talent.
Wait, what are we talking about? Robert Tonyan?
I'm saying Aaron Rodgers loves to throw 1-yard touchdown passes.
Oh,
to tight ends.
Yeah. For some reason I was picturing Robert Turbin when you said that.
Yeah, him too. He'll be there cheering him on.
I was like, what are we talking about? No, now I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yes, Robert Tonyan.
Yeah, I mean, Jermichael Finley, and like he's always had a tight end he's liked in the red zone.
He loves those little like smoke routes where you get like an ISO guy on the outside and he's like, hey, look, I'm going to throw it to you. I wouldn't mind that at all, I guess. But the problem I think when I picture the Jets, I'm like, this is the face of quarterback dysfunction in the NFL's history. And Aaron Rodgers is 40 or 41, and he's gonna run for fucking vice president. Like,
vice president. Yeah.
Can we get him out of here? Like, I just don't want them to go to the Jets because then we got like another 50 years.
It's ugly behind that though, because you got Vikings. Not gonna go there. You got Hawkinson. Broncos.
I don't want him to end up in the Broncos because they don't have a quarterback situation there.
Raiders, fucking hell no.
No. Saints, no.
No. Colts would be sick.
Colts would be fine, I guess.
Colts would be sick.
I don't really want him to go because I feel like the Colts are still going to be kind of a low volume passing offense, so I don't necessarily love that. The Seahawks probably not going to take him, although I wouldn't put it past them. They did just re-sign Fant, which I like.
Yeah.
The Jags, they just have Evan Ingram. The Bengals, I think, is where you start to circle, and that's like right in the range I think Bowers could go. So that would make a lot of sense. The Rams, no. Steelers, God help us.
God help us.
Dolphins, they probably won't do it since they just got Jono.
It's so weird, right? It's
the Eagles. The Eagles would do it. The Eagles would do it just to piss everyone off.
Yeah, exactly.
The Texans. That would be fun.
Holy shit.
Cowboys, Packers. I don't know.
Cowboys would actually be sick. Cowboys would be the best landing spot for sure.
Obviously it would suck. It would suck for bag holders on Jake Ferguson, but like overall, for fantasy.
There's no way it's happening, but that is the answer to the question because it's Dak. We just talked about his propensity to target the tight ends.
I would love that,
dude. Because they don't really have a wide receiver 2. they've got
Mhm.
CD and then
I mean,
some fellas.
Bowers is essentially a receiver. I would.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's circle the Cowboys. Prayer circle. Let's make this happen.
Yep,
The
maybe they
Cowboys
trade
seem
up.
like a team. The Cowboys seem like a team too that like would do that. They seem to be willing to like go over the top to get like star power skill players
Yep.
type guys. So let's do this. Let's do Cowboys.